Hey y'all, today we are going to make these cute little market bags. I've got 4 of these made up. I love this style. I love these colors and I have loved this project. I don't know if I'm going to keep these for myself or give them away or try to sell them at market, but these bags are so adorable. Okay, first of all, this is the stash that I have left, and just to cover, this one was already balled up, and all of these were in the long twisted skeins that you have to wrap around something, and I ball these up by hand. So that's what I'd spent one day doing this week. And here's everything I have left. I think you can see it. This is a scrap ball from all the skeins that I made the other bags with. So that's what this is. And this yarn, I just have to show you. Here are all the little things. This is what it is. Heavy rug yarn. Let's see if I can get a little closer on that. Heavy rug yarn, and the original price at Walmart was, I think there's one with a sale price. Here's one. This is a Kmart for 64 cents. And this is a Walmart for 47 cents. I just thought this is so cool. And it's 100% polyester, heavy rug yarn. Heavy rug yarn. These are just really cool. And they make really great market bags. So let's get to it. Okay, let's get to this. First of all, this is my pattern. So aren't you glad I'm going to show you what to do, because this is a pattern that I made, and this is what it looks like. I have not made patterns to sell or give or anything like that. I make them for myself. So I understand all of this chaos. First, we are going to choose our colors. I've got these 5 colors here. I think I'll start with the blue at the very bottom. So I'm going to do my little loop. And I want to leave quite a long tail because this is really thick yarn. It's really coarse. And you have to tie it in. You cannot do the Russian bind, the Russian join on this. So you have to have a long tail to tie it in. We're going to do 5 chains and a slip together. Okay, I'm going to slip it together. Now we're going to put 12 3 chains and then 11 double crochets into this. Let me get all of this out of the way. I'm going to pull some off here so I don't have this ball rolling around. And if you understand the first part, just to show you, right here it says 12, 24, and 48. This is the starting of a circle, a coaster, or a hat. So we're going to do that for the very beginning. And you don't want to sew this in with your crochet loops, the end, the tail, because it doesn't go in like it should, in my opinion. I don't like how it works out. So you're going to, let's see, I'll walk you through this double crochet, loop under, go through the hole, grab it and pull it through, grab it and pull through 2 and 2 more. So we're just going to make sure we get 12 of these. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now your first chain 3 counts as your number 1. Okay? So you're going to slip together in the very top of that chain 3. And then we're going to do 3 chains, and we're going to go right in here. And this time, since we've got to make it 24, you guessed it, we're going to do 2 double crochets in each stitch. Alright, we're going to do 2 double crochets in each stitch. Now, I was blessed with getting this yarn at a flea market. I got a whole bunch of it for a really low price. We have several flea markets local that do that, and therefore I can have a lot of this yarn at one time to work with, and that is how I got it. Okay, so now we have 24. We have the row 12, 24, and we're going to do 48. So we're going to go right in here, and we're going to do 2 per stitch all the way around. I absolutely love this pattern. I love this bag. It's so easy to carry. So I'm going to go ahead and go around, and then I will come back when I am done with this row. Oops. So here we are at 12, 24, and 48. Just doubled each time on these last 2. In the next row, we're going to do a 2, 1, 1. So we're going to do 2 in one stitch, and 1 in the next, and 1 in the next. So it's fairly easy. You're still doing double crochets. So you're going to go 2 right there together, and then the next stitch you're going to go 1 and 1 in the next stitch. So you've got 3 stitches covered there. You're going to do 2 in this one, and go 1 and 1. So you've got 2 in this stitch. Wait a second. Nope, I don't have 2 in that stitch. You have 2 in that stitch. Sorry about that. And 1 and 1. If you ever lose track of your 2, 1, 1, you just go back and count like I just did, and you realize you only add 1 instead of 2. So then you have 2 stitches with just 1 stitch, and then you go and do 2 again. And then you do 1 and 1. I hope I'm explaining this well enough. Got 2 stitches in this stitch, and you've got 1 stitch and 1 stitch. So I will continue to do that all the way around, and then can come back. Okay, we're going to address this right now. When I balled this up, I did not see this. When you get yard sale yarn, especially when it's this old, you have to be careful at making sure it is quality. So this one had a weak point where it was ripped, or I don't know what, because see, it's 3 strands in here of this thicker stuff. What I do with that is I take it about 4, 5, 6 inches, and I tie a knot. I will sew these in with the ends of the rest of the yarn later, and you make sure your knot is tight. That's it. I'm going to keep going with the 2, 1, 1, and I'll be right back. Okay, I wanted to show you on this blue yarn specifically. I've got that row done, and I had tied in one here, but when I was balling it up, I had another one here and another one here. It does not contribute to any weakness later on as long as you tie it up far enough away from where the split was. So I just wanted to show you that. And that's a lot of ends to tie in on one piece, but it works. So now we're going to do, on the pattern, we're going to do 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around. Okay? And here is how we go about skipping those little strings when you crochet it in. That's all. You just pass them to the back, and then we have some stitching to do after with a yarn needle. This yarn is so thick I could not do that join that I like to do with no knots and no tails to tie in at the end. Just does not work with this yarn. So I'm going to go and get this row done and come back again. Okay, we are done with the double crochet all the way, and we're going to need double crochet plus 1 chain, skip 1, repeat. And now this makes the mesh. Okay, this makes this mesh bag. Got doggy hair. All the way up, we're going to get 12 rows. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rows of mesh. Now what I've done on most of these is I've done a few rows in the color that's on the bottom, and I know I have enough for 1 row here, maybe 2. So what we're going to do in this next row is go 1, 2, 3 chains for your double crochet, and then you're going to have 1 more chain for your skip. You're going to skip 1 here, you're going to loop under and do your double crochet in the next chain. You're going to double crochet and chain 1, and you're going to loop under, you're going to skip this one and go to this one, double crochet, chain 1. So you are going to do this double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch all the way around. And if you look back and you see, I'm just going to do it for just to show you. Okay, so you're going on the next stitch and you see that, see right here, I did not skip that. You can see it if you just kind of look back at your stitches. So you just take it out and then keep going. And if you don't chain 1, it also looks funny in a different way. See how these are a little spread apart here, and then this one is like bunched together a little bit. Now some of my bags have a few like that that I did not catch, so it's okay if you do miss one now and then, but it's going to make your bag go smaller if you continuously do it. So you don't want to continuously do that. You want to make sure you get your chain in, and you want to make sure you skip your stitch if you want this mesh look. Now if you don't want the mesh look, you could do double crochets all the way around without the chain, and that would give you a solid look just as this bottom is. It would look more, it would kind of look like a beanie until you got to the handle. That's kind of how it would be. At least my beanies are double crochet usually, so not all beanies are double crochet. And so I'm just staying on here with this row because it's almost done. And we're gonna skip 1. Now sometimes the end doesn't work out perfectly, so you just make it the best you can. Now when you join this row, you're going to make sure you have your double and your stitch right there in between before you go in and attach, because you want this to look just like the rest of it. Okay, I think I have another row in this, so I'm going to go ahead and do 1 more row. So you chain 4 on your first one and go right in at the top. You can see where I'm going in, right at the top of here. the top of that last double crochet, and that way your chain will line up completely. Okay, well I'm going to go all the way and then I'll come back to you. Okay, this is the end of the second row, and once again you have to make sure you have your double crochet and you've got a chain after it to tie it in together. Now to do this part, we are going to pull that out there loose. It's not cooperating. And we're going to cut off a spot here. Then we have to choose what color to go next. So I've got all of these. I think I want to rotate, maybe do yellow next, and then, you know, move up to the aqua after that. So we are going to tie this in. We're going to just pull this through and pull your tail all the way through and pull it tight. Okay? Because we don't want any changes that are not right on the row. And then we're going to do exactly how we started and do a long tail. That might be too long, but it is too long. A little bit too long. Just do your long tail. Pull it tight on your needle, and you're going to go right in where you have here at the top of the stitch. Okay, now as with knitting, you don't want to crochet in your tail because then you'll just run out and have to start over. So you just attach this and then do your chain 4, loop over, up. See what I did? There's no chain right there. It's pulled in, or it's a really tight chain. It's just not as big as it should be. See that? Okay, now I'm going to do about 5 or 6 rows, maybe 4, of this yellow color, and then I'll be back. Oh, no, I won't be back. Hang on. This right here, I do not like. This is factory. So what do? The same thing I've been doing. Cut it off. Tie these long so you can tie it in. Because if you leave that and it works its way out, somebody's going to have a hole in their bag. And they're not going to appreciate that very much. So you tie the long tails and then keep going. So now I'm going to do 4 or 5 rows and be back when I'm done with that. Alright, well here we are at the end of 4 more rows. So we have 6 here already. And we are going to cut this off and do a color change to the aqua. Okay. And we're just going to tie, oh no, we're not going to tie that in. I'm being silly there. Okay. I'm going to tie that on, and then we do this tie. Sorry about that. And we're just going to go right in where the yellow was and start the new rows. So I will come back when I am completely done with all of this section and have 12 rows done. So I have 6 more rows to make, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are with our bag with lots of strings to tie in. But we've got our 12 rows of mesh, just like the other bags. And the next thing we're going to do, I did not tie off on this one because I'm going to continue up the first row with the same color like I did on the last one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a half double crochet every stitch all the way. So a half double crochet is a little different from a double, and you still chain 3, and since we're not skipping a stitch, we are going to stay right there and not do the 4th chain. Now what we want to do is loop under, and because these stitches right here are very tight a lot of the way around, I go in right here in this big hole to do the first double crochet on each one. Okay, so we are going to chain 3, loop under, go in the big hole, pull through, grab and pull through 3 stitches. And then the next one, we're going to go through right here in that big stitch on top of the double crochet. So we loop under, go through, and pull it through, and then go into the stitch right here. Those are your 2 stitches on each section of the mesh. You've got one in the big hole and one in the stitch above the double crochet. So we're going to go all the way around with this stitch here, just to give it an extra layer at the top that's a little more solid before we start our handle. So this particular bag, the yellow and the aqua and this cream color here, have not had any extra splits in it. So that blue was the only really ornery roll I had. So we have all of this as your first row. I love how this turns out. It's so pretty. And then we are going to single crochet. So we are going to chain 1. We are going to single crochet 22. Okay, there's 22. And if you need to, if you've lost track while you were going, you can go through and count your stitches. Okay. Now this should be close to half your bag, about right here, somewhere like that. Okay, now we're going to chain 25. Okay, now we've got 25 chains, and we're going to come in about here, maybe one up. So we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to on the inside and loop it together. Okay, now we should do 22 more single crochets. Okay, here we are at this end. We came in and attached it with a slip knot. We skipped 7 stitches here, and we're going to single crochet 22 and 7. So now we got to chain 25 again. Okay. Now you take this chain and you attach it just like you did on the other side, and it doesn't matter how it twists and turn right now. It's okay. You come in the bottom of this stitch and you just pull through. Okay, now you should have about like this. You've got 2 little handles, but you want to sturdy this up because you don't want these flimsy handles with this sturdy bag. So we want to, you don't have to count anymore, which is a good thing. You have to do single crochet every stitch. So we're going to come up with 1 chain, which actually on this part you can skip that 1 chain. You're going to single crochet all the way on this bottom part, but when we get to the handles we are going to half double, just because it turns out really pretty, and I like how it looks. I like how it works out, and it's a little bit thicker than just the single. And what I've done so far is about 3 rows of this. So we're going to single crochet all along here, I really love these bags, and if you try out this pattern and follow this tutorial, let me know. I'd love to see what you come up with. And we're going to do a half double in each of these chains. I know that in a lot of places you have to bring your own grocery bags. Not around here where I live, but in a lot of other places. And this would be a good way to make your own grocery bags to take to the store. Now we're not going to do anything different except, see this stitch right here? We are not going to go into that one. We are going to go into here. Okay? And start the singles. And I like to skip that little pull right there because it angles the handle up a little more after you've done it the full 3 times. It's pretty nice the way it ended up. The first time I kind of wasn't sure what I was doing, but then when I came out with the final product, it's not just angled outwards, it's angled up. But we're going to do 3 rows of this. And this bag is single crochets, well, chains, single crochets, double crochets, and half doubles. I'm going to go right down into single crochets into this top one here. Okay, now I'm going to do 2 more rows all the way around and come back and we will be done. So I will see you in just a minute. Okay. It is done, y'all. Look at this. I love how this turned out. The little handles. This is what it looks like. And this is the mesh. And there's the bottom. You can't put little tiny stuff in here, but you can put a lot of stuff in these bags. Look at this. I love these. Look at those colors. Well, there they are. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope you learned how to make a nice little bag. And thank you for watching. This is a very long video. So we will see you on the next video. And bye-bye.